they move out of moral and ethical boundary. That, for them to have put the names of the people that has deviated.
Maybe I will interrupt.
You can
please, can I interrupt? Please, can you answer the question? Are you people corrupt in the legislature?
I am answering the question.
No, you're not answering the question.
Excuse me. I'm saying it's not limited. It's not limited to
lawmakers alone. I've said that. Corrupt in the legislature?
Excuse me.
Are you Honorable Aladetan?
I am not corrupt. I'm not corrupt. Very good.
Let us establish that point.
I am not corrupt. But I'm saying that history of Nigerians that are corrupt.
Let us face the facts, Mr. Distinguished Honorable. Okay. We are not talking about general. The question is very specific. Are you corrupt in the legislature? Anybody, any politician, I'm a politician. I should be the very politicians here. Any politician who says it's not corrupt, it's not honest. And dishonesty is part of the corruption.
I am not corrupt.
Tell me.
You can't be corrupt. I'm not corrupt.
How much are you earning in a month? And what is the salary of the legislature now? What's your total package?
My salary.
And what are you doing with it?
Excuse me.
Tell me. No, excuse me.
I will tell you. I want to tell you.
Salary of
I want to tell you.
And what are you doing with it?
I want to tell you.
I want to tell you. Honorable Aladetan salary.
Let me tell you.
No.
Let me tell you.
Your salary should be excuse me, sir. On that note,
we are talking of remunerations of the legislator. We are not talking. I'm not personal about him.
Okay.
The remuneration of legislators is
public.
It's public
okay.
knowledge. Yes.
Now, let me tell you, I was a member of the House of Assembly. I was recently a commissioner in the Local Government Service Commission.
And you are corrupt.
Just a moment. Let me tell you. No. Listen. I know the demands on me. There was no way my salary could have supported it. Okay. Every politician in political office cuts corners. And when I was there, I cut corners. That is the issue. Okay, if you come here and say that you are not cutting corners, you are telling lies.
I am not corrupt.
So that is the issue.
I am not corrupt.
Let me land.
Good and fine.
The best way to solve our problem, first of all, is to admit that there's a problem.
Yes.
As long as we all run away from this thing, we will never get to anywhere.
Yes.
The point is this. Let me tell you, there are so many ways by which you make money in government. You see, during the Ajas era, when I served in, I was chairman of the House Management Committee. I didn't know anything at all about contracts. In fact, the word contract was alien to me. I didn't know what contract, who don't have what contracts. All we say that this is what we want done, and it's done. When I was with the World Bank, I was occupying a very sensitive position with a lot of projects. I never knew who did them. I want this done, it is done. Which contractor did it, I don't know. But today, what do? We do not only bring the contractors. In fact, it is now a cake. It's no longer the order of the day for you to go and bring contractors. No, you register your own company and use it to take the contract. Okay? So it's not a question of 10%, it's not a question of 20%, it's a question of 100%. Sometimes the project, we don't even implement it at all. That is what is happening in this country.
Sir,
until we face this reality, we're not going to get anywhere.
If I may cut in here, sir.
Let's allow
there was
Madam
something
to talk.
The Honorable said. It is our right as the public that every member, whether you are a local government chairman, the governor, the president, you declare your asset. For example, in the United States, it is passed as a law. Before you come in for any office, even right down
it's
to
also here.
A mayor. No,
it's also here.
Sir, this is what I want to say. You declare your asset. While you are in office, any gift given to you while you are in office, you must declare. If after you leave office, you never declared even a single pair of shoes that was given to you, it is automatically determined that you embezzle public funds. Those are laws that are put into place. So if we can enforce some of these things here, that, come, you're a local government chairman, somebody saw you, oh, sir, you did this thing for me, I want to thank you, I give you a car, you have to declare it. Or so day, this man came and gave me a car. Because if you do not declare it, the day you leave, I will accuse, and I have every right to do so, I will accuse you that you stole this thing from public funds. You see, the thing here is, we do not enforce our laws.
Because there's nobody to enforce them. That's
Everybody's hands are tied one way or the other.
You see the moderator.
Who goes to
the moderator?
You want to say something?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Like I was saying before, he caught the conversation. Corruption in Nigeria cut across border in Nigeria. Nobody can say is free from it.
But you have just said so.
Yeah,
but you have just said you are free from it.
Excuse me. Nobody can say no aspect or no sector of the government can say it's free from it.
But you have
I
just
want to
said
make a
you're free.
point. But people that can say they are free from it can as well come out to say they are free from it, because if you look, let's be. I want to be biblical now. Look at Silas and Paul. They were arrested, beaten, molested, and imprisoned. You understand? The next day they discovered that the offense does not warrant that imprisonment. They asked them to go. Paul insisted that he will not go because you molested us publicly and you want to get rid of us secretly. They came and apologized. There are people in this country and there are lawmakers in this country, when arrested for any allegation, they go there to defend themselves and they come back because the organs or the agencies of corruption, that are called corruptions, can also sue and be sued. So it is your right to now sue them for alleging you unlawfully. You understand? You can do that,
Mr. Moderator,
because you have that right.
Yeah, let
So,
me
but in Nigeria here, when EFCC or corruption, the agencies that call corruption arrest people, all we have is that they go, they bail, they come back, they sleep. That's the end. Like the woman is saying that our laws are not being enforced to the letter. They are not being enforced.
Mr. Moderator,
I agree with that.
Before you put your question, you see,
But there's nobody can say that
I'm
there
worried
are no
about-
people in this country
Have you
that are not corrupt.
Okay, have you landed?
I'm worried about the trend of this discussion. We are talking about the legislature. That's what you invited me to come and discuss.
Yes.
Okay, please, we must be focused. The key issue is this: is the legislator performing its oversight function diligently, honestly, and transparently?
He has not asked that question. We'll not get into that. When he asked, we answer that.
Just a moment.
When you ask, we answer that.
Just
If
a
you
moment.
put the question in his mouth.
Listen. When he asked you, is the House of Assembly corrupt? You couldn't answer the question. You didn't face the reality of the situation.
I
And
said the
one of
lawmakers are
avenues-
corrupt. I don't say they're not corrupt. I said
coming
I'm
to
not
that
corrupt.
place. One of the avenues of corruption is the oversight function. Okay, I want to ask, because
Why are you becoming a moderator?
No, I'm
You
not
better
a
put
moderator.
your ideas
It's
straight.
part of his own
Okay, ask
submission.
and stop.
I think that is part of his own
That's not
submission.
submission. Please,
He has the right to ask questions.
You see,
Ask a question. Let me answer you.
Yes.
Let me answer you
Now,
wisely.
It's on those states. You see, because we have to start from our own home, right? We are all living. We are all witnesses.
But this is a national issue.
Yes, this is a national issue.
Yeah.
But we can use our own home as a springboard for analysis.
Okay.
All right. Is Ondo State legislator doing its oversight functions? Okay. Where have you seen them in action in this state? All right. And when you do your oversight function, are you doing it diligently? Are you doing it without free of corruption? That is the issue. That is where corruption starts. And that is the major source of corruption in the National Assembly. Look at what is happening now all over the place. When they say they go, oh my good Lord, when they say they go for oversight function, no, they are only going for treasury looting. Okay, and we are saying that is on those state, for example, where you are, you can enlighten us. Is it an exception? Okay, if it's not an exception, what can we do about it? That is the issue. Because we want to fight corruption. And the first thing to do about fight corruption is that we must all admit that there is corruption and we are all part of it. Okay, now, with due apology to you, my sister, you say you are not corrupt. Yes, there are Nigerians who are not corrupt. Okay, there are Nigerians who are not corrupt, largely because they have not got there where they can be corrupted. Okay, you see, when you get there, power is very tempting. Government is very tempting. When you see billions of naira flowing all over the place, I mean, you will have to be an angel to resist the temptation to pinch from your money.
Let me answer a question. You answer the question yourself.
Before you come on. We'd like to go on a short break now. When we come back, the discussion continues.
Every day for Nigeria, as they do break even before Kokoro. Plenty people don't wake up to begin working for Nigeria. Farmers, them there, builders, them there, get people income, we there, teachers, we there, some they work for office, others na factory, sports people income, we on the for stadium, some people own not to sing, everybody getting on, Nigeria people know they lazy, they not tired, they don't give up, come rain, come shine, country people, let them go make country better.
Welcome back. the discussion is getting more and more interesting, where you have an old legislator accusing of the new one of being corrupt. Anyway, let's come back to the main topic. Honorable Aladetan, we seem to focus you today because you are a legislator. Who is still in the house? Who is still very much around?
Yeah, okay.
Honorable Ijabiyi said something about oversight functions. How effective are your oversight functions?
Thank you very much. If you're talking about oversight functions...
You are talking on behalf of all legislators in Nigeria now.
Nigeria, yes. You see, the oversight functions performed by the House committees on different ministries made them to discover that there are lotteries here and there. That people must have moved out of the ethical boundary of their ministry. And that's why they are constituting pro-panel into different ministries. It was because of that. But they are turning that to be their function. My argument is that they should not turn that to be their own function. That must have been the function of Auditor General of the Federation. Their function is to say, so thing has happened here. You understand? That they discover why doing our oversight function. The Auditor General may go there and the EFCC will go there. But it is after they must have misbehaved to themselves that EFCC will now come in. The thing will not be known at the initial stage. So, but the oversight function made them to get...
You don't know where as a legislator, you don't even know what an oversight function is.
So
when you say that we cannot carry out proof.
Excuse me. If you are turning to Auditor General, there's limitation to all these things.
No, please.
There's limitation to read.
Okay.
when you discover, excuse me. I'm not misleading. I'm telling you that when you appropriate money for a purpose, and the money is not used for that purpose, you don't take the law into your hand now. You discover it.
No.
Excuse me. When you go into it, you hand them over to the appropriate authority.
Okay,
the authority will give a report,
You cannot say
and then
that.
the EFCC will give it out. Are you a judge? You can be a judge.
For the sake of our viewers at home,
You can be a judge.
can you tell us what an oversight function is?
Very good. Thank you very much. Now, oversight function is for you to go there. The money that you have voted, the appropriation bill, that it is spent according to the budget. That is your...
That's exactly what he says.
Excuse me. So when you now find that you have any reason to suspect, or you have a petition, or that this money has not been used like that, you have a reason, you have every right to call the people to come and explain to you, which is what we call probe. Okay. Now, if we vote money for something, somebody now writes you a petition and said, look, the law you have passed, somebody is violating it. Somebody has not been doing what he should be doing there. The money has not been spent the way it should be spent. You go there and find out. Gentlemen, how are you doing here? You say you want to do this budget, yes, we pass it for you. You say you want to do this, we pass for you. Are you okay with it? Is there any problem there? Do you have any questions to ask about it? So that next time around, we know what to do for you. Now, if in the process you now discover some anomalies, you call them to question. Why did you do that? Why did you do this? Then, if you have every reason to even go deeper into it, you now set up a panel and say, look, come and look critically at this matter. I don't know, something's wrong with these people, there's something wrong with this institution. We want, that is what is called probe.
Yeah, when do you bring in the EFCC, ICPC?
Yes, when
is it after the probe or before the probe?
No, it is after, based on your findings. The EFCC and the legislature, they work hand in hand.
How?
EFCC can get information and send it to the National Assembly. National Assembly, as a result of their own probe, can hand over the person to EFCC. Okay, so it is cross-fertilization of activity.
Sorry, let me just say something. Yeah. On this issue of oversight functions and everything. Now, this is a published record from the Accountant General of the Federation for 2009. Okay. On the issue of senators now going to probe something, in the end setting up a committee. This was the bill they brought. Just for setting up a committee and probing. 40 senators refused to refund 1.62 billion naira advanced to them to do an oversight function. Another 158 million was deducted from capital, recurrent, and salary accounts, but only 109 million was repatriated back to the FIRS after the probe or whatever they had done. 108 payment vouchers for the amount of 1.2 billion was raised and nothing was produced for audit. So in all this, I'm going to go and probe something, I'm going to go, it is still bringing in corruption.
Of course, I agree with you.
You see the point.
The other day, they said they set up the committee.
Excuse me, sir. You see the point I'm trying to make.
Let's allow Honorable Aladetan.
There's no argument about the way the point you marshal and the one I bring out.
Okay.
No difference.
I see.
The only difference is this, that at the point of appropriating money for a budget, for a project, say, build one school here, and when you get there, you only meet a toilet. Yes. That ministry know that they've erred, they've deviated from the appropriation law. It's not your duty again to say, who collect this, and them to the law enforcement agent. Because if you continue to do that, you'll be doing the work of an auditor. In the process, the temptation of corruption will come in. You understand, sir? So if you want to do, excuse me, sir, let me say one thing again. The oversight function being performed by lawmakers in Nigeria has really been hampered by self-centered opinion and the influence of the political party on them, on the lawmakers. Because, for instance, if I am a member of Labour Party in Ondo State,
Which you are.
which I am,
Okay.
and my governor is a Labour Party man, you understand? And I appropriated money for the same school I talk about, and I met a toilet. There's a tendency for me not to report that to the public. You understand? Because of the, if I'm going to do that, the party will even call me to order.
Which is
corruption. You understand?
Thank you very much.
This is corruption.
Institutionalized corruption.
Yes,
Yeah,
the party will call me to order that. Oh, another time,
Corruption
you
does not
you want to spoil this party. So we are trying to manage this party. Don't do it. So person, go and make amend. You understand? If he makes amend, good and okay. But he has institutionalized corruption because that person that initially did that by putting toilet inside of school has not been punished accordingly.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Let's consider the culture of our people in the way lawmakers tackle corruption. Like Honorable Ijabiyi said earlier on, our people, do they not encourage corruption? For example, there's a Yoruba proverb that says, no matter what source the money comes from. What do you think about that, madam?
Sir, with due respect, honestly, with due respect to everyone in this house, I would like to say this. This generation before ours destroyed this country.
You don't have any proof for that?
No, sir. I have a proof. Now, in Yoruba history, I read in school, during those days, a man's word was his bond.
Yeah.
When a man tells you, I will give you 6 rams at the end of the day, if he doesn't bring it at the end of the day, the village ostracizes him. That you don't even marry from his family. When you bring somebody that you want to marry, they say, Madalon, I'm sorry, I'm speaking Yoruba. Madalon, Okuroni Babe. The child of that man has to prove that he is not his father for him to be accepted back into the society.
Yeah.
When you were growing up, that was the culture you met. A lot of you grew up knowing integrity and and your morals dictated your life. But when you were raising us, there was a different system you used to raise us. For example, when I was writing my WAEC, I know a lot of parents who paid money for their children to be given false WAEC papers.
Send them to miracle centers.
Yes, miracle centers. You know this child does not have the capacity to pass the exams. Instead of you to do what you're supposed to do, to put the child in the right way, you cut corners. What do you expect of him when he grows up? I'm so sorry to say this. If things are bad now, I fear for my generation. We grew up in corruption.
Yeah, but the generation you are talking about,
now he said
most of the people are the different assemblies now, either national or state.
Yes.
They belong to this generation of the Omoluabis you are talking about.
Now the thing is this: they may be, well, we grew up in this culture of corruption. The thing is this: to tackle corruption in Nigeria, fine, it may start from the head should do something, but it has to start from our homes.
Okay.
It really has to. No, because a child that you are already raising who believes now, like you quoted a proverb now,
Yeah.
that omotobamo wale
Yeah,
oni ya emai. If a mother knows that your child that you know that is not up to so age brings an amount of money home, and you shout and you make it known, that child automatically gets corrected in his mind that there are things that are not allowed in society, in my house, and in everywhere. If those children grow up, they change things. I want to raise an example. In China, China is a country that has this electoral plate of earthquakes. They have earthquakes a lot of times. There is a specific way you build buildings in China. 2 years ago, there was an earthquake that happened, and a lot of buildings came down. The most tragic one was a school that came down. Over 50-something little children in kindergarten lost their lives. When the government went into the probe of it, they found out that the contractors used materials that were not recommended by the state. They further proved that, like something like their housing, their urban planning people cut corners, collected money, and approved those buildings. All those people were sentenced to death. The contractors, the planners, every one of them was sentenced to death. Why? People have to understand that corruption is not our culture. Corruption is not, you can say no and stand by it. They say a good name lives after a man. Why do we shout, whatever happened then, I wasn't born then, but why do we shout for people like Awolowo? Why do we shout for people like Azikiwe? If they didn't stand their ground, we'll probably be under colonial rule till today.
Okay. I could see you were eager to say something.
I was just looking at what